Good morning, everyone. Today we have revised the chapter Life Processes. So, here, what are the differences between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition? Autotrophic nutrition means food is synthesized from simple inorganic raw materials such as carbon dioxide and water, and chlorophyll is required. Food is generally prepared during daytime, and all green plants and some bacteria have these types of nutrition. And heterotrophic nutrition means food is obtained directly or indirectly from autotrophs. The food is broken down with the help of the enzymes. Chlorophyll is not required. Food can be obtained at all time. All animals and fungi have this type of nutrition. You know that the differences between the autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Here autotrophic nutrition means green plants prepare their own food are called autotrophs. Here heterotrophs means heterotrophs is animals which depend food for others are called heterotrophic nutrition. And what is the role of the acid in our stomach? The following the role of acid in our stomachs are the hydrochloric acid present in our stomach dissolved a bit of food and creates an acidic medium. So in this acidic medium, enzyme pepsinogen is converted into pepsin, which is a protein digesting enzyme. It also kills many bacteria and other microorganisms that enter along with the food. So, what is the function of digestive enzymes? Here, digestive enzymes such as amylase, lipase, pepsin, trypsin, etc. So, help in the breaking down of complex food particles into simple ones. So, these simple particles can be easily absorbed by the blood and thus transported to all the cells of the body. So, how is the small intestine designed to absorb digested food? The small intestine has millions of tiny finger-like projections called villi. So, these villi increases the surface area for more efficient for food absorption. So, within these villi, many blood vessels are present that absorb the digested food and carry it to the bloodstream. From the bloodstream, the absorbed food is delivered to each and every cell of the body. So, what are the different ways in which glucose is oxidized to provide energy in various organisms? So, glucose is first broken in the cell cytoplasm, so into a 3 carbon molecules called pyruvate. So, pyruvate is further broken down in the following ways to provide energy. For example, in the presence of the cytoplasm, glucose is converted into pyruvate. So, in the yeast, in the absence of oxygen, here pyruvate is converted into ethanol, carbon dioxide plus energy. Same as in our muscle cells, in the lack of oxygen, here pyruvate is converted into lactic acid and energy. And same as in mitochondria, in the presence of oxygen, energy is converted into pyruvate is converted into carbon dioxide, water and energy. And then how is oxygenated carbon dioxide transported in human beings? So hemoglobin transport oxygen molecule to all the body cells of cellular respiration. The hemoglobin pigment present in the blood gets attached to oxygen molecules that are obtained from breathing. It thus forms oxyhemoglobin and blood becomes oxygenated. So this oxygenated blood is then distributed to all the body cells by the heart. After giving away oxygen to the body cells, blood takes carbon dioxide, so which is the end product of cellular respiration. Now the blood becomes deoxygenated since hemoglobin pigment has less affinity for carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is mainly transported in the dissolved form. The deoxygenated blood gives carbon dioxide to lung alveoli and take oxygen in return. And describe the structure and functioning of nephron. So nephrons are the basic filtering units of kidneys. Each kidney possesses large number of nephrons, approximately 1 to 1.5 million. The main components of the nephrons are glomerulus, Bowman's capsule and a long renal tubule. So observe here, so this diagram structure of neuron. So nephron. This diagram is very important in your examination, so all of you practice at least 4 or 5 times. And then what is the functioning of a nephron? The functioning of a nephron are the blood enters the kidney through the renal artery which branches into many capillaries associated with glomerulus. The water and the solute are transferred to the nephron at Bowman's capsule. In the proximal tubule, some substances such as amino acids, glucose and salts are selectively reabsorbed, and unwanted molecules are added in the urine. The filtrate then moves down into the lobe where more water is absorbed. From here, the filtrate moves upwards into the distal tubule and finally collecting duct. So, collecting duct collects urine from many nephrons. The urine formed in each kidney enters a long tubule canal in ureter. From ureter, it gets transported to urinary bladder and then into the urethra. So what are the differences between, very important question, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, and name some organisms that use the anaerobic mode of respiration. So aerobic respiration means it occurs in the presence of oxygen. It involves the exchange of gases between the organisms, the outside environment. It occurs in cytoplasm and mitochondria. So it always releases carbon dioxide and water. It yields large amount of energy. And anaerobic respirations are, it occurs in the absence of oxygen. So exchange of gases is absent. It occurs only in the cytoplasm. So it produces alcohols, carbon dioxide. Energy released is very low. And then very important question, state, role and function of lymph in the human transport system. So lymph is a circular fluid. It flows through the lymph vessels. Lymph is colorless fluid. It consists of lymphocytes which kills germs and protect the human body from infections. So lymph carries digested fats and absorbs fats from the intestine. It drains excess fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. So it flows in unidirectional. Tissues to lymph capillaries to veins, veins to heart. Heart to veins, veins to lymph capillaries to tissues. And then explain the process of nutrition in amoeba. Very important question. So amoeba is an important protozoa found in fresh water. So it feeds on microscopic plants and animals present in water. The mode of nutrition in amoeba is holozoic, and the process of obtaining food by amoeba is called phagocytosis. The different processes involved in the nutrition of amoeba are ingestion. So ingestion is the process of taking food in the body. So amoeba is a unicellular animal. It does not have mouth for ingestion of food. So amoeba ingests the food by encircling it by forming pseudopodia. When the food is completely encircled, the food is engulfed in the form of a bag called food vacuole. And then digestion. So digestion is the process of breaking the large and insoluble molecules into small and water-soluble molecules. In amoeba, several digestive enzymes react on the food present in the food vacuoles and break it down into simple and soluble molecules. And absorption. The food digested by digestive enzymes is then absorbed in the cytoplasm by the process of diffusion, while the undigested food remains in the food vacuole. If a large amount of food is absorbed by amoeba, the excess is stored in the cytoplasm in the form of glycogen and lipids. And then assimilation. During this step, the food absorbed by the cytoplasm is used to obtain energy, growth and repair. So this process of utilization absorbed food for obtaining energy, repair and growth is called assimilation. And egestion. When a sufficient amount of undigested food gets collected the food vacuole, it is thrown out of the body by rupturing cell membranes. The process of removal of undigested food from body is called digestion. And next one is draw a neat diagram of front view of human heart. So this diagram is very important in your examination. So all of you practice this diagram. So because this diagram is very important. And then carbon and its compounds. So here carbon and its compounds is a very important chapter in your examination. So here what are the two properties of carbon which lead to the huge number of carbon compounds are we see around us? The two features of carbon that gives rise to a large number of compounds are as follows: catenation and tetravalency. Here catenation is the ability to form bonds with other atoms of carbon. Tetravalency, with the valency of 4 carbon, is capable of bonding with 4 other atoms. So what will be the formula and electron dot structure of cyclopentane? The formula of cyclopentane is C5H10. So its electron dot structure is given below. And then explain the mechanism of the cleaning action of so very important question. So this question is arise for 4 or 5 times. So all of you observed and note down this question. The dirt present on the cloths is organic in nature and insoluble in water. Therefore, it cannot be removed by only washing with water. When soap is dissolved in water, its hydrophobic ends attach themselves in micellar formation and trap the dirt at the center of the cluster. The micellar remains suspended in the water, hence the dust particles are easily rinsed away by water. What is meant by the term functional group? An atom or a group of atoms which makes a carbon compound reactive and decide its properties. So it is called it as functional group. Very important question. Once again repeat it. An atom or group of atoms which makes a carbon compound reactive and decide its properties is called functional group. And then what are hydrocarbons, and give example. So compounds of carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons. Methane, ethane, butane, ethane, propane, benzene, petroleum products are all the examples of hydrocarbons. What is covalent bond? The chemical bond occur due to mutual sharing of electrons or pair of two or more atoms of different elements is called covalent bonding. What are isomers? Give example. Compounds with identical molecular formula but different structure are called isomers. N-butane and isobutane. Here 4 carbon atoms are present, are bound at the 4 carbon atoms are bound at the 10 hydrogen atoms. So same as N-butane and isobutane. And then what is glycerol? So glycerol is a sweet viscous liquid soluble in water. So it is a byproduct of saponification process and it gives a common name glycerin. So its formula is CH2OH, CHOH, CH2OH. So it is used in the manufacture of explosives, plastic and pharmaceuticals. It is also used to prevent freezing. What is an esterification reaction and describe an activity to show esterification? When carboxylic acid reacts with alcohol in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, pleasant fruity smelling compound is formed. So CH3COH, ethanoic acid, reacts with ethanol to give, so ethanoic CH3, COOCH2, C2 plus H2O. And then, so what is the chemical equation in each case to represent the following types of chemical reaction of organic compounds? Here oxidation reaction, addition reaction and substitution reaction. Here you have to observe ethanol reacts with the oxygen, it gives ethanoic acid and water. In addition reaction, here ethene reacts with hydrogen in the presence of the catalyst to give ethane. In the substitution reaction, when in the presence of the sunlight, here the methane gives methyl chloride. And you have to see that the methyl chloride. And then heredity and evolution. So this question is, so this chapter is very important in examination for our 5 marks question arised in this chapter. So here heredity and evolution. See, already noted in the Google Meet class. If a triad A exists in 10% of population of an sexually reproducing species and a triad B exists in 60% of the same population. So which triad is likely to have arisen earlier? Here triad B, because in asexual reproduction, traits which are present in the previous generation are carried over to next generation with a minimal variation. So triad B have higher percentage, so it is likely to have arisen earlier. How does the certain of variation in a species promote survival? So variations occur due to sexual reproduction and also due to inaccurate copying of DNA. So depending on the nature of variations, different individuals would have different kinds of advantages. For example, bacteria. So bacteria variants which can withstand heat have an advantage over non-variant bacteria having no capacity to tolerate heat wave. Thus, variations in a population of a species help in survival of a species. So, how do Mendel's experiment shows that trait may be dominant or recessive? The trait which appear in all the members of F1 generation and also in 75 members of F2 generation obtained by self-fertilization of F1 generation is dominant character. The trait after self-fertilization of F1 generation reappears in 25% of F2 generation is known as recessive. So how do Mendel's experiment shows that tyres are inherited independently? So Mendel's crossed pure breeding tall plants having round seeds with a pure breeding short plant with wrinkled seeds prevent speciation in this case. So plants having wrinkled seeds. The plants of F1 yielded plants with characters of tall round seeded, 3 tall wrinkle seeded, 3 short round seeded and 1 short wrinkle seeded. Tall wrinkle seeded and combination which can develop only when the traits are inherited independently. And then, so how is the sex of the child determined in human beings? So in human beings, the female have 2 X chromosomes and the males have 1 X and Y chromosome. Therefore, the females are XX and the males are XY. The gametes, as we know, receive half of the chromosomes. The male gametes have 22 chromosomes and either X or Y sex chromosomes. So types of female gametes. So 22 plus X, 22 pair of gametes you have to see and are 22 plus Y. However, since the female have XX sex chromosomes, their gametes can be only have X sex chromosomes. Type of female gametes 22 plus X. Thus, the mother provides only X chromosomes. The sex of the baby is determined by the type of male gamete X or Y. So that fuses with the X chromosomes of the female. And then what are the different ways in which individuals with a particular trait may increase in a population? So individuals with a particular trait may increase in a population as a result of the following. Natural selection, genetic drift. When the trait for some survival advantage. In genetic drift, when some genes governing that trait becomes common in a population. And then explain the term analogous and homologous organs with the examples. So homologous organs are those organs which have the same structural design and origin but have different function. For example, the forelimbs of humans and the wings of the birds look different externally but their skeletal structure is similar. Analogous organs are those organs which have different basic structure, design and origin but have similar function. For example, the wings of the birds and insects. So outline a project which aims to find the dominant coat color in dogs. So dogs have a variety of genes that govern coat color. There are at least 11 identified gene series. The influence coat color in dog. A dog inherits one gene from each of its parents. So dominant genes get expressed in the phenotype. For example, in the B series, a dog can be genetically black or brown. Let us assume that one parent of homozygous pups are crossed, they will produce 25% heterozygous black BB, 50% and heterozygous black and 25% of homozygous brown offsprings. So let us observe the table and easily to know that the black and the brown dogs. And what is gene? So gene is the unit of inheritance. So gene is the part of the chromosomes which control the appearance of a set of hereditary characteristics. So what is a sex chromosomes? So it is a chromosomes that operates in the sex determining mechanism of a species. So many animals have two different types of sex chromosomes. For example, in human there is a large X chromosomes and much smaller Y chromosomes. Define heredity. So heredity refers to the process by which certain features are transmitted from parents to offspring. So define variation. Offsprings of parents do not exactly resemble each other as well as to their parents. It is known as variation. And then define what are the uses of genetics. So genetics has a wide scope in studying various genetic disorders. Genetic testing or counseling is used to screen fetal and newborn for genetic disorders. Name the two laws of inheritance postulated by Mendel. Here, the law of segregation and the law of independence assertment are the two laws of inheritance postulated by Mendel. And then, what are fossils and what do they tell us about the process? The remains of dead plants and animals which buried under the rocks millions of years ago called fossils. So fossils of different organisms have some features similar to one species, while some features are similar to the other species. In this way, they show the link between two species and tells that one species evolves from the other. Okay, thank you.